into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
There's the music.
There it is.
It's another after show. If you are tuning into AfterBuzzTV.com, you have come to the right place. This is the Survivor Second Chance after show for season 31, episode 7. I'm your host, James Wallington, and we have a special guest to my left from Survivor Second Chance.
Hi, guys.
Monica Padilla.
Yay.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And across the table from me is...
I'm Susannah Kim. Follow me on Twitter at Susanna_Kim.
And I'm Paige Bonanno. You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Paige Bonanno.
Yay.
Thanks for joining us.
This is fun to have a full panel tonight.
I know.
Especially with Monica, someone from the actual season who can give us first-hand experience and what happened out there in Cambodia.
I know.
Love it.
Overall, what was everyone's thoughts on the episode? We'll start with Monica.
Oh, with me. You know, it's kind of bittersweet looking at it and going, oh my God, I was that close to the merge, you know? It's like, And plus all this drama started up. I'm like, wait, I could have used that drama. Where was I? I don't think I would have been involved in it. I mean, really, I was just so shocked to see everybody bring that much drama in to the merge episode that quickly.
So true.
Yeah, well, because you could see so many people like laying really low, and then the other people that were stirring up so much drama, like Sierra, Tasha, Cass, obviously, like. So yeah, it would have been interesting to see.
Came out of
Yeah,
nowhere.
no, it's crazy. I mean, even when I was out there, it seemed like, you know, Sierra and Cass were pretty close, and Tasha seemed like she was close with them as well. So this just came out of nowhere. I mean, even from the beginning, everyone was so cautious about not starting drama, not stirring the pot, and then all of a sudden, bam, it's on. Game on.
This is probably the most dramatic merge we've seen in a while on Survivor. So much was happening, so many different parts. And as Tasha said, because of all the swaps, it's a bit murky. Like, I have a hard time following all the relationships right now because so much has happened.
Yeah.
So as a viewer, I'm like so confused. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but I'm just like, where do loyalties lie?
Right.
What alliances are alliances? And I just
Yeah, like when they say
confused.
original Bayonne or original Takeo, I'm like, who?
Yeah, I'm like, who's
Yeah.
on that?
I forgot. I had to look it up today. I was like, who was on which original tribe?
Yeah.
And that they merged so early. I feel like that
Exactly.
threw off everybody too. So
But it's so indicative of the season because everybody is just feeling everyone out. No one really wants to draw the line in the sand too quickly. So
Well,
even
Cass drew her line.
Oh my God.
yeah, literally, as a viewer, I could see why it's confusing because even out there, you're like, wait,
What's
who
happening?
am I trusting
Right.
right now?
Exactly.
Obviously, I didn't trust the right people. So
obviously.
Well, before we dive into this episode, I just want to put it out on live here on our after show. Sheena123 Monica says, James, tell Monica I loved her this season and Samoa, and I'm her biggest fan and that she was robbed this season.
oh, thank you. I feel a little robbed. I'm not gonna lie, but it's okay.
I'm gonna try to
I think we all agree with that. We definitely all agree with that.
We were like, at least get her on the camera. Like,
Yeah,
at
right?
least let us see the
Show
girl.
her.
I mean,
Yeah.
she's gorgeous. Like,
We didn't even
like,
see you until the episode that you went home.
God.
Like, it was like the first couple episodes we were like, oh, what's going on?
Finally,
Like,
we see her, and then
Right. They
I must
weren't
have been
giving you a
hiding
voice.
under the shelter the whole
Drama,
time.
drama.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I didn't say a word.
Well, the beginning of this episode opened up with Savage. He feels completely blindsided in the fact that everyone lied to him. He says everyone here is professional liars, which is hilarious to me because I think that mentality that he's speaking from is the old school mentality. He's like, all these folks are professionals, but I'm like, it's Survivor and it's season 31. Of course people are going to be really good at lying.
Right. And now he feels like the tables have turned and he's the one begging everybody to keep
Right.
him there when he was the one that was like making the moves before.
And,
Yeah.
he was all confident. Now he's like, oh, all insecure and paranoid, and oh my gosh, all this stuff going
Well,
on.
especially because he doesn't have Tasha around. I think he was trying to
Exactly.
make Wu his new Tasha on this tribe that he's on. And now with Wu gone,
Wu's
we
the new
see him
Tasha.
scrambling with everyone like, you guys, I'm loyal. Take me to the merge. You can use me towards the end.
Yeah,
so
right.
he's just really grasping at straws right now. Because I think because he got robbed in Pearl Islands,
Right.
because of the Outcast twist, he really wants to be in the merge that much more.
I thought it was funny. He's sitting there in his suit suit making his like claim.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, you put your suit on for that? That's cute.
Yeah, that's cute. Yeah.
I mean, number one with Savage, dude, it's Survivor. Like, what do you mean people are lying? Of course people are lying.
And he lied.
And no, yeah,
He was all
exactly.
proud of
That's
himself when he
that's
did.
exactly what I was going to say. Nobody said anything when you were lying. When
Right.
you were lying, it was okay. But now
Yeah,
because you were
right.
lied to, all of a sudden you're all upset
All
people are
hurt.
lying.
Exactly.
Like, he lied to Varner and PG, and that was okay.
Exactly.
Because he's on the opposite
So that's
end. It's
playing
like,
the game.
And the whole thing with Spencer, and then like now he goes up to Spencer and says, I would literally never write your name down again. Like, I promise. You know, like begging him. I'm like, oh my
And
God.
so she's all like, he feels foolish.
Right, he feels
because
foolish,
I
yeah.
got
Changes so
caught in a
fast.
lie.
It changes so fast, you guys.
Yeah.
And then we see Spencer, on the other hand, saying, like, you know, I'm just going to make peace with this. I'm going to put it aside.
Because he's trying to make those relationships.
Trying to make these relationships.
Yeah.
And we see Spencer again. He's always saying that he wants to change, make a second chance. And every time he, like, shows us a little bit that he's changing and trying to get there.
He's actually still doing it.
Yeah.
Unlike Cass, who was saying it for the first like couple episodes, and then this
Completely fell apart.
All right,
Yeah.
go back to chaos, Cass. Then.
Right.
Well, I think the biggest surprise for everyone remaining in the game was the merge. Everyone got the tree mail that they were going to be meeting at a new beach, and it was the merge with 13 people, which, again, is the biggest merge in Survivor history. So people are like, whoa, we're merging at 13? This doesn't seem normal. I thought for a second, which I think I saw some people speculate online, that they were going to say that they were merging and everyone be on the same beach, and then it not be a merge, kind of like what they did in Survivor Thailand, where they thought they were merging, and then they weren't.
Right.
So, yeah, I think at 13 I'd be a little bit weary. Even Tasha was saying that I'm a fan of Survivor, and a merge at this point in the game.
Right.
That's a
doesn't
lot
make
of
sense.
people.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
you're happy to make the merge, but that's just
How many made it in
chaotic.
Samoa, though? 'Cause
12.
So
Yeah.
roughly
yeah.
close there, yeah.
So, and it was a pretty big merge. I can't even imagine having one more person out there. I mean, that
Right.
shelter, it
Oh my God.
it seemed like a small shelter for 10 people.
They were all crowded under there,
13
just sitting
people
there.
is a lot of people.
But as Joe said, 13 people is dangerous, but it's also a lot of fun. I can imagine it being a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And probably a little
true.
crazy.
Well,
with
I'm
all the
so
different
glad
types of
Joe
track
had
personalities.
so much fun with this game.
We also see Kelly kind of reveling or relishing in the fact that she didn't make the merge the last time she played. This is a goal number one, check. She's hit where she wants to be right now. But I'm surprised they didn't really feature Kimmy, who also on Survivor Australia Outback did not make the merge. She was
Right.
voted out right before it. So I'm surprised they didn't really give her much recognition either, because Kelly's not the only
Right.
person
Right.
that didn't make the merge.
I'm
her first
surprised with a
time
lot
around.
of the things they're showing and not showing, and like things that we're finding out later. Like it doesn't seem like, I don't know, some of the storylines are
A little
strange to me.
hazy.
They're, yeah.
Now they say
Missing
I don't want to say
pieces.
sketch,
when they were
but
showing the Kelly stuff, I thought maybe that was going to lead into something. You know, like they're showing that because she was going to make a move or you know say something. But no, it was
that's what I
just-
thought about Savage at the
she's
beginning.
just happy.
Because they were showing so much airtime for him. So I was like, okay, maybe they're foreshadowing. He's going home.
That's what I was worried about.
But he didn't. So.
Well, we see the bromance coming back together between Savage and Jeremy, having their bro talk about how we need to stick together, the original Bayonne. We need our 7. What was it like being out there with, Savage and Jeremy?
You know, it's tough. It's a lot of alpha males. For me, I tend to alpha out a little bit, but out there, I was so out alphaed, even by Savage and Jeremy, but Cass too. I mean, she's a storyteller. She just, she likes to be the center of attention, but not necessarily in a dramatic way in the beginning. And so it's tough when you see everybody kind of grouping up and forming these strong alliances. And I knew from the beginning, I'm like, oh my God, these guys are going to bro up and go against us. So let's just keep our options open. And that was always what I went in thinking. And
Right.
I never really wanted to even suggest a women's alliance too soon in the game, but seeing the way that things were developing and how they might go and all these strong males still in the game, it was just so obvious to me, like, why would you not want to do this? And I mean, it's clear, you see it happening now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're picking off the strong women. So
But I think eventually it might backfire because their testosterone's going to be going and they're going to be like, all right, well, I want to out-bro you and make sure that I'm here longer
Yeah.
than you are. Because it seems like Joe's still public enemy number one as far as, like, the males. He's the one
Right.
that's talked about the most as a physical threat. That I think that eventually there could be a shift. And I know Steven's trying to make that happen.
Steven's trying.
Whether it works or not, we'll see. But I can see of all the alpha males, Joe being the first one to kind of crumble. Because I think
Yeah.
Savage and Jeremy's relationship is a lot tighter
Right.
than
And I
they are
don't
with
think
other
Joe
people.
schemes as much as everybody else.
No.
He doesn't.
Joe's just having a good
Joe's
time.
having a good
Yeah.
time doing yoga.
But that's good.
Yoga.
But I mean,
Right.
could you imagine if he is as big of a threat as he is, and
And a
he's being
schemer?
super schemy and strategic?
Exactly.
He kind of has to play that
Just lay
card.
back.
But
So
it's a
true.
good thing that he knows his place, and he just goes, "Hey, I'm having a good time. Whatever you guys want to do."
He's
Right.
genuine. I
I'm up for
love
it.
that.
No, he's great. His
That
energy's
might be his
awesome.
downfall.
Well, we did see some sort of like outlining of relationships at this point in the game. Kelly's talking about how she feels really close with Cass, Sierra, Keith, and Joe because they had that Final Five alliance that they were talking about last week before Terry was taken out of the game. And then she's talking about how Spencer and Joe are kind of wild cards, but they're there. So she wanted to talk to both and kind of size it up about, are you with me? Are you not
Right.
with me? Which even later on, Kelly was still kind of, it seemed like Kelly ended up being on the bottom because everyone that she thought she was with did not vote with
Yeah.
her, which is a different
Well,
story.
Savage
but-
was also talking to Joe about it, and Joe just didn't seem to be having like anything that Savage. You know, he was like, "Well, I'm just gonna keep my options open. Like, I don't really know." Like, it just didn't seem like he really wanted to align with.
Right. Like he didn't,
Savage.
he
I don't
didn't
know.
BS him or anything either.
Right, he was just like,
He
eh,
was just like, yeah,
we'll find out.
exactly.
I think Joe's very careful about what he says and what he exposes as his mindset because he does know that he is a threat. You know, he's aware of that. And so anything that he says is probably going to be held against him. So it's a really smart
Exactly.
move to say, hey, let me keep my options open.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what he
And
says
because
carries that much
otherwise,
more weight.
exactly. The minute Joe says someone's name, people are
Oh,
going to pounce on
that's
him
all it's gonna be about.
immediately. So
Smart. And all the alpha males are doing that, kind of playing under the radar a little.
Well, they know they have to.
they're
at this
really
point.
quiet about it.
Letting the
Absolutely.
girls
Even playing with
keep
Jeremy, I'm
stuff.
like, wow.
Yeah.
You know,
That's why I feel like Savage is getting a little crazy here now. You know, like he's getting a little up there.
But that's why Joe said, you know, Savage is the type of player that's playing with his emotions.
Right.
And he's playing them with them on their sleeve.
sleeve.
Which again, I think is going back to the old school mentality. In the
so
original seasons, a lot of people played more on emotions than they did with the strategy and the let's deceive one another. So
Exactly. Yeah.
hopefully that doesn't, you know, backfire on Savage eventually. But we see Wentworth kind of rekindling her flame with Spencer because they haven't been together since the first tribe. And she wants to know what's going on. She wanted to check in with Spencer. This is probably one of my favorite relationships on the show is Kelly and Spencer because you know prior to this season, even on their original seasons, that they're super fans of the show. So I
Right.
kind of like seeing the super fan camaraderie and then wanting to work together and then hopefully it'll flourish.
Yeah, they
into
seem like
this.
really good friends. Like
Yeah.
they work well together.
and they look like brother and sister.
They do.
Yeah. Cute sitting in the hammock together. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's the hammock from your backyard, right?
Aw.
You guys grew up in
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, it was really cute.
Mary Duda 444 in the chat says, just listen to Monica. I would be scared just like Kimmy. Monica sounds too smart and is intimidating.
It's true. It's true.
I just wanted to be her friend.
Then we see Spencer and Joe talking, and Kelly Wentworth was even saying those are going to be two power players in this game. They seem to be in the middle because they were kind of on the outs of their tribes before the merge happened. And I love how Spencer was like, I try to speak in Joe language to help him understand.
Oh my god!
Like what? Like can Joe only understand
Like Joe is
football?
not a stupid kid.
Right.
No,
Okay,
let alone like a football. He doesn't come
Like,
off like
he
a
can
football.
only
I know.
understand-
You think
yeah.
he's a jock? I don't understand.
Right. Like he can only
Know your
understand
audience, man. Know your
football
audience.
language.
I don't know. I was like, wait, what?
What is
And they put
happening?
hashtag Joe language. I'm like,
I wonder what Joe
Step
thought of
back.
that. I would like to know what he was like.
Joe's probably like, oh yeah, whatever.
Is that necessary?
Hashtag Joe
It's fine,
language and
right?
Joga.
Yeah.
Joe, the Joe hashtag was fine with me, but
Right.
the Joe language, I don't know. I'm not speaking that really.
Yeah, no. Joe is not
language
a stupid kid.
Aw.
Well, we see some awkward shelter time when they're all like kind of bunched together, all 13 of them in the shelter.
Yeah.
Cass is talking about how she feels grounded, but it got a little awkward when Steven started reciting poetry. I was just like, what?
I didn't even feel like that was as awkward. I felt like it was kind of awkward when like they were talking and Cass was saying like, yeah, I saved Spencer, you know, like she was
I did
in
not
front
like
of in front of everybody. Like it was so awkward to me.
Yeah,
and
calm
she's like,
down.
yeah, Savage like made this whole scheme and like it didn't work. Like she was telling everybody, and Savage was sitting right there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Wow, like, I don't
Yeah,
remember.
that was a little weird.
I
I don't
thought it
remember
was
that
awkward.
conversation then. I probably was taking notes, but I remember when Cass ended up approaching the shelter and being like, this is what Tasha's saying. And I know she was more gung-ho about Tasha.
No, but that was a different conversation. You know, like I feel like that was a different time. Like You don't know that
It was like in the rain.
Yeah, it was in the rain, and they were sitting there.
Okay,
And
yes.
Tasha was right there giving her the stink eye.
That's right. That's right.
I'm like, what's going on
That's
here?
right.
Yeah.
And that's when Cass turns to Tasha and is like, I feel like there's a bro down going on.
Yeah,
That's the conversation.
Exactly.
Right. And she's like, yes, Savage, Steven, and Jeremy have a plan. And Tasha's all like, okay. With all the different swaps and stuff, it is a little murky.
Yeah.
So Tasha does make a good point. But that's when I was getting confused. I was like, who's with who?
Who's with who? Exactly.
What are the loyalties here?
But sorry, I didn't mean to overshadow the Stephen poem giving.
It's okay.
If we want to go back.
I'm so surprised out of everything. I mean, you're out there 24 hours a day, and we're constantly being taped. What? Why?
Why
Why
that?
the poem?
The poem?
I'm so confused.
They just want to show so much awkwardness.
I just don't
and,
get it.
Everyone's reactions looking at each other.
Yeah.
And,
But he was just trying to
oh my gosh.
have a little fun there,
That's true.
But give a little entertainment to people.
Rembrandt in the live chat says poetic fishback.
Yeah.
And then same with Charlie Rose 214, poetic fishback. And then Clinton M said awkward, but fishback is awkwardly entertaining, which I can't debate him on that.
It's so true.
I agree.
He is entertaining.
Well, the relationship between Cass and Tasha at this point I find to be very interesting because obviously they were on the original season of Survivor Kai Gai On together. Now they're reunited on the same beach for the merge. And Cass is trying to get a feel out of Tasha where the relationships lie with the original Bayonne. And Tasha did say, I would say no, like Bayonne is no more.
Right.
So this is when this drama starts happening because I felt like Cass was very perceptive of the fact that Tasha was not being as sincere with Cass as Cass was being with Tasha, which started this drama.
Right. So she said to her, you'd say Bayonne is no more. And Tasha said, I would say no. But she didn't say anything after that, did she? Or did she actually say, no, Bayonne is no more? I thought she just said, I would say no. Isn't that the only words that came out of her mouth?
That was, but it's implied.
Oh, it's absolutely implied.
I see what you're saying, because the argument that Tasha's saying is, I never said Bayonne is no more, which, in reality, she's telling the truth, those were not the words that came out of her mouth.
Right.
But it was implied.
But you're like, obviously that's what you said. Like, you said, I would say no.
Right. Because there was a side thing where she said, like, oh, I thought I could use this as an opportunity, kind of mix things up, feed her a little wrong information. So she knew what she was doing.
Exactly.
She just didn't know.
And Tasha's all like, this is my second chance. There's no way I will allow Cass to ruin my opportunity to win this game. I was like, dang.
It's so funny, though, even looking at it, when I was out there and Cass was always talking about getting Spencer out, or, she and Tasha kind of were getting along really well in the beginning. You are just in your head all the time, and it's constantly going through, well, is she for real? I mean, are she and Spencer really tight? Are they not? So it's tough, like, when you're out there and seeing this just explode, is so much fun to finally see it just get out there like that.
Mary Duda444 in the live chat says, Cass read Tasha very well, and she should have just left it at that.
Yes.
The chaos came out a little bit too soon.
And in front of everyone, which was a lot. Why not pull everyone to the side and have little conversations at least? But putting it all out there, and you can't really go back on what you said.
Kind of like
Everybody
Abby
heard
did
what
with the PG bracelet at the
Yeah.
beginning. She brought everybody aside and told everybody individually.
Yeah, right. She's like, I don't want to start anything.
But
all right, girl. But I mean, especially the second time they started talking, when Tasha started saying, like, yeah, I did learn something the first time. Learn not to trust you. I was all about that. I am so for that.
Well, I was surprised that the drama carried over until the next morning. Like, what did they do? Just wake up and be like, hey, we should continue
let's continue talking about it.
And so they went to the beach. And
she was like, I feel like that went bad yesterday. And then they continue. It's not like they worked anything out. They continue to fight and draw a line in the sand.
I just want to make sure that I'm right in thinking that we're not friends, right?
Right. Tasha's like, Cass, I'm not going to tell you what I really think because I don't trust you. That's what I learned, not to trust you the first time around.
Which I'm all for that. I'm not a forgive and forget. I'm a live and learn kind of person. So get it, yeah.
But after Cass physically drew a line in the sand, we're like, now we at least know one relationship.
I just wish they would have gotten up and walked separate ways. Like, they got up and then walked together.
Yeah, right.
More dramatic.
Yeah.
But Cass didn't even wait to kind of let it simmer, to pull people aside at the right times. She just went straight into camp and was like, Tasha's planting seeds of deception. This is what Tasha's doing.
Lying.
And Tasha's like, I'm not doing nothing, blah, blah, blah. What did you think? Do you think Cass approached it the wrong way? Do you think maybe Cass could have done something right with
I think she should have waited. I mean, anytime you're having different conversations with people, I think you can kind of adjust it based on who you're telling and what happened. But when you have everyone literally sitting there and just gets front row seat, there's no adjusting anything.
Right.
Everyone can then discuss what drama just unfolded. So I think she maybe should have gone and pulled people to the side rather than just out herself as being Chaos Cast again.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which I thought when this drama was happening, what was interesting is when Sierra piped in to get
Oh my
her
God.
2 cents.
Yeah, that was
nowhere. I
And
was like, who are you?
it caught me a little off guard because I was like, where is this coming from? Because
Yes.
again, we haven't really seen much of Sierra in the edit as a whole, only within
Until
the last 2
last episode,
episodes.
yeah.
So it's like, where is this kind of coming from? I think she's still kind of hell-bent over the fact that Savage threw her name out there.
Which I think that she just like totally overstepped her boundaries in that
but I
in that
think,
situation.
I think, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, Sierra's kind of noticing what you noticed with the bros.
I think
And
so.
Sierra's trying to
Really?
plant these seeds of like, well, Savage was trying to get Wu. Savage can't be trusted because that was her argument was Savage was getting close to Wu, who was an original Takeo member, which is like, if that's the
Again,
case.
don't expose that in front of
Exactly.
everyone. Later
Yeah.
on, be like, oh my God, I know that Cass blew up, but just so you know.
This
I
is
don't
what's
know.
going on.
Hindsight is always 2020.
Right, of course.
You know, she probably just wanted to stick up for her girl Cass. They've been together since day one.
Right.
You know,
That's
they've kind of
true.
swapped and merged, and they've been by each other's side. So she probably just wanted to stick up for Cass, but I just think
Yeah.
the approach, they
That's a
just
good
all
point.
kind of went full speed ahead. But it's the first time they've really had to deal with drama. And
Exactly.
it's tough being this far in the game, only going to one tribal, and then all of a sudden merging.
It's also
crazy.
probably like the merge is happening, so now that you've already passed the first half of the game, it's even, the stakes are a lot more higher.
Right.
'Cause
Right.
It's like, now it's really where I put my second chance to good use, and I'm like, I'm that much closer.
Right.
So maybe they're just a little too anxious and
Anxiety
eager.
kicked in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then Savage like pipes in and is like, I never said any of those things. And it's just like a bad circle, a web that's being spun out of nowhere. Savage goes, a rabid, nasty two-headed dragon is in this tribe, and we're going to
Yeah.
take one of those heads and cut it off.
Well,
Yikes.
Sierra said to the camera, she's like, "No, I'm going to take this as an opportunity to kind of like." She said something not like to spin it, but she kind of mentioned that she was gonna
She wants to get
spin
in
it a
there.
little bit. So
Yeah.
like, was she right about Savage like telling lies, or was she telling lies? Like, do you think that she was right?
Well, I don't think what Sierra was
'Cause-
saying was necessarily a lie. It was factual.
Because
that
Savage was saying that she was
Sierra-
lying.
I think what she was lying, what he was lying, what Sierra was lying about was the fact that Savage brought up Jeremy and chose.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That was, I don't
So
remember
she just
that
brought that up out of
happening.
nowhere?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Trying to like
I think
separate
she's done
and
before.
strain the boy
Right.
alliance.
But why
So-
do it right in front,
Right in front of him, obviously.
So he could say, I didn't say that.
That's
you
what
know?
I'm saying. Right.
Plant the seeds on the side.
And you're
And
gonna
then
lie
no
about
one really
something.
backs her, you know? No one goes, oh yeah, he did say that.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Everyone's just kind of like,
Mouth shut.
out.
back away from the bear.
And then Savage after that was like, I need to get Sierra out. And everybody else wanted to go more for Cass, but he wanted her out for sure.
Well, then it was the immunity challenge, and of course, this is a second chance redemption challenge, an opportunity for Cass and Spencer, because Tasha won it the first time it was on Survivor Cagayan. Who were you guys rooting for going into the immunity challenge?
I was rooting for Tasha just because she won it before.
Right.
And I was like, well, I want to see her win it again to see if she's really good at this challenge.
She was killing it at
She
first.
was killing it at first, for sure.
Yeah, she wasn't.
She was
mean
just
at
very
all.
focused on it. And like a lot of people were just kind of, not as, she had it like right in front of her face. It was just only looking at that, not looking anywhere else.
I think for most of the challenges, I tend to root for the same people. I don't know why. I always root for Joe, even though he's like such an easy. I just, just love seeing him succeed. I just love him. And
just
then
good at everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And I just want to look at you more. And then Kelly Wigglesworth. I just always root for her. Something about her getting her.
But where is
redemption.
Kelly Wigglesworth?
I know. Yeah.
For being such an iconic player in Survivor, she's not getting
She's not-
any
not
airtime.
Any, but I'm okay with it because I feel like if she got more attention, she would be a huge target, So I feel like it's good for her to just,
Well, we
play
saw
the
it.
radar for a little while.
Like the last episode or the episode before that she was the target. Everybody was going to go for her. And she didn't try to scheme. She didn't try to go behind people's backs and try to
And it
like
worked
get
for
her to
her.
stay. And it worked. And people figured it out and voted for someone else, did the drama themselves. She wasn't anywhere near it. So I feel like that's kind of,
Well, that was
Kelly
the tribal when you went home.
Oh, yeah.
What was
exactly.
your take on Kelly Wigglesworth?
She tries to stay quiet. She doesn't want to cause any drama. She just wants to be really even killed,
Stealthy.
So
See, it's crazy, like, how much that can change because Kelly was, like, a surefire to go home that day, And then
Yeah, so by having no strategy, that's kind of her strategy.
Sometimes, yeah.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I wonder how like long that'll last for her.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
I just wish we would see her explaining like, this is what I'm doing. I'm not trying to ruffle feathers. I'm here to just kind of fly under the radar, but we're not getting any sort of like story from Wigglesworth. But I also root for her because she's like,
yeah, you're like, are you even having
she's
fun?
the
Like, how is this experience going?
Like, we know you don't watch the show, so.
Right. It's like, how is the
real
experience
king
going?
out there again, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Charlie Rose 214 in the live chat said hashtag where is Wigglesworth. That really should be a
Yeah.
hashtag for the show. But alas, of course, Joe wins immunity. I was actually surprised that he wanted to win it, knowing the fact that in Worlds Apart, he was seen as a physical competitor at the merge and like got voted out 2 or 3 rounds into it. That I think this might kind of be a repetitive cycle, that he won this first challenge, putting himself out there, and then who knows what'll happen. That's why I'm saying the alpha males might think, you know, now that we're getting towards the end, we need to take out Joe so we can keep our safety by winning that immunity necklace, because we can't have him winning it. Otherwise, I'm going to be up on the chopping block.
Yeah.
That's why I think the alpha males might start turning on each other.
Yeah. That's a good point.
I'm okay with it.
Well, the pre-scramble before Tribal Council was interesting because, again, where are these loyalties? Where are the alliances lie?
Yeah.
So many groups of people talking at different times, one of which was the watering hole conversation between Steven, Wigglesworth, Savage, and Joe, debating Sierra or Cass. Sierra or Cass. And, of course, Savage is going for Sierra for the same reason Sierra is going for Savage, because they keep throwing each other's names out there. But it seems like majority is planting the seeds of Cass needs to go. If you were on the beach for the merge right now and you hear Sierra or Cass, where do you think your head would be? Would you be with like Joe saying if it's majority, I'm going to vote majority?
It's tough because I know that from the beginning I was always weary of Cass because I knew that Chaos Cass could come out. So for me, in my head, if we had gone to Tribal early on, I would have been totally okay with voting Cass. But I never really trusted Cass or Tasha for some reason. I didn't know where they sat with each other, and I didn't know where I sat with them either. So in that situation, I probably would have gone for Cass. I think that was the least dirty shirt for me, you know? Or, yeah. I think I would have gone for Cass.
Yeah.
And I think
Makes
that
sense.
Savage made like good arguments for Sierra, but the majority again was like, you know, Cass has got to go. But Sierra does have a way. To me, she's one of the most articulate players. She's very good with her words. She's very good at making like a point. Like her Tribal Council stuff, in my opinion, she slayed it. Like she was killing everything she was saying. It's true.
Right.
So I think Sierra
she
does
was
have
doing
a
a
way
good job.
with
At
her
the same
words.
time, I mean, yes, come to play, but you cannot just play for yourself.
Right.
I mean, the lone vote for Savage is just...
Like, what's it going to do? Because she could have gotten voted out that way.
Exactly.
You can't win this game alone. You just can't.
Yeah,
It's
I don't know what did that do? And you're so proud of like, hey, you guys need to play. Wait, they are playing. That's why your name's on the chopping block.
But you being
girlfriend.
that
What are you
aggressive
doing?
with it and showing that, you know, maybe you may not be loyal and that you are playing this game for yourself essentially is digging your own grave.
It's putting a target
My
on
last
you.
Tribal, I don't know if you even got to see it, but I was like, look, I'm ready to go in all the way to the end. Like, let's do this. The minute you start talking about winning too much, people get really scared.
Oh, totally.
It freaks them out, you know? They don't
Yeah.
want you to think you're playing too hard.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, like, and Sierra's on my team, but for me, like, I wasn't having her speech. I didn't like it. I thought it was annoying. Some of her like tones weren't hitting me right. I was like, I was like, yeah, I talk like that. You
She
sound like
was
you're
getting a little
It was
high.
a little much. You should have scaled
Yeah.
it back a little bit.
Yeah, I was like, we're not in high school. You have children, girl.
Well, then the other conversation I thought was really interesting was the big group of people on the beach, which was Jeremy, Joe, Spencer, Wigglesworth, Kimmy, Tasha, Savage, Steven, and Keith. They're all deciding...
Excuse me, can you say that one more time? No.
Right. A lot of people all on the beach deciding how they were going to split the votes for Cass and Sierra. They wanted to do it 5 and 4, while Abby, Maria, Wentworth, Sierra, and Cass were all just kind of in the shelter. This is why I'm thinking Wentworth at the beginning of the episode seemed like she thought she was in this majority with these certain groups of people, but the people she talked about are on the beach, and
That's
she's
what I was
on the
confused
shelter.
about. Right. Like,
Which
where
made me a
did...
little worried for her, because I'm like, hopefully this is not like a repetitive thing for her later down the line,
Right.
because then she's going to be on the bottom.
Exactly.
Like, where did she get lost in that shuffle? That she was
Exactly.
in a shelter.
She'll
Yeah.
have to decide eventually.
But really, she's one of the only people that seems to be keeping her mouth shut.
Yes.
Which is great, you know? I mean, you see all these people having an opinion and going around talking about all the drama, and it seems like she's just sitting back and waiting for her chance to really rise above it. So hopefully, you know, it's not an indicator
She's
of
a
her
ninja.
going home soon.
She is a ninja.
She is.
got
I
her
think she's
idol,
playing
too.
this
And
game
she's got that
really
idol,
well.
yeah.
She's a ninja.
I can't wait
Ninja
to see those
Wentworth.
idols come out.
Yeah.
Well, because they are observing from the shelter, Cass is saying, okay, now I'm realizing that we need to pull in a fifth, and that they wanted to work on Spencer because they did, you know, save Spencer, the last tribal council. And Sierra's even saying, you know, being second-time players, you know that there's a chance that they're going to split the votes just in case an idol is played. So Spencer now, again, for the first time ever, is in the deciding vote.
Yeah.
So I think that they did pose an argument like, hey, like, here's the deal. Like, we saved you. Like, we want to work with you. But Spencer, I think... I also wish we would have seen more since they're talking about, like, this is his opportunity to take out Cass.
Exactly.
Like, it's revenge. Like, this is
Who did
an
he end up
absolute-
voting for?
wish
I
he would've
forget.
said
He ended up voting for, he actually voted for Sierra.
Okay.
Yeah, which I thought was interesting. But still, like, he's like, this is an opportunity to take out
Absolutely.
Cass.
Well, look at who Cass voted for last time. She totally pulled the blind side against Wu. So,
Right.
Yeah.
regardless of what their relationships were after the last season they played with, it just shows that she's kind of going in with some of these grudges still. And now she's aiming at Tasha. So it's really smart to go,
Yeah.
I'm probably the next one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Spencer did say, there will be a split vote tonight. My decision is going to determine who's going home. I already saw Tasha as a friend coming into this, but Cass and Sierra had my back and saved me. My luck actually turned around, and I've never been in this position before. Spencer is, again, the cat with 9 lives. He just
Oh my God,
always
every
seems to
week.
find a way to still be in this game.
And he's always kind of in the spotlight too, because he's usually either like scrambling, like, you know, like, oh, it might be me. His name's on the chopping block. Now he's in the power position. Like, man, he is all up in the season.
It was funny too because last week we saw like he was a deciding or Cass was a deciding factor to keep him,
For
and
his
then
fate.
now he was a deciding factor to keep her, and he was like, I just don't know if like I want to save her, but I don't think she's
If I
able
were in
to be
this position,
saved.
I would probably do the same.
You can't,
I mean,
right.
come on.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Right.
It's like he said, tomorrow, you know, like I can't be like, oh, let me be nice to Cass, and then what, she stays, and then she's going to backstab me tomorrow. No, it's a
Exactly.
different
Because you
game
know
every
Cass
day.
eventually
Like,
would have screwed
Right.
Spencer
Oh,
over. So.
totally.
And I mean,
And she would've been okay
Jeremy
with it.
and Steven and Kimmy did him a favor as well and getting rid of me over him. So, I mean, he's had a couple people kind of vouch for him. So,
Yeah. I
it's
loved
just
when-
deciding who's going to be more loyal for longer.
Right, exactly. I love when I think it was Jeremy that was talking to Spencer when they started talking, like, I think they were on the hammock or something, and he's like, hey, so what do we need to do? Spencer's like, well, it needs to be someone who could cause trouble. So it's like his way of saying Cass without
Yeah.
actually
Saying
saying
Cass.
Cass.
And he was like, well, what do you,
Yes.
what do you
Yeah,
think?
it's like, what do you think? And then
Well, what do you think?
as soon as he said Cass, he was like, yes.
Yep. Mhm. Yeah.
I loved it.
I know.
Smart.
I saw that.
There are a
Smart
lot of
kid.
conversations like that out there. Like, well, who
Smart
do you think?
kid.
Who do you think? Who do you think?
And I love how Keith too was just like, well, she caused a lot of bickering, so let's get her out.
Right.
Still my favorite.
So freaking
Still
cute.
my favorite.
Brian
I
Brandt
love
makes
him.
a good point, saying, "Why would Cass think that Spencer would even vote Tasha out?" And I agree. I think that's stretching it, because
Right.
Spencer and Tasha
That's
had a
true.
great relationship on Cagayan, and even after the show, they're really
Even now.
close friends. So why would Spencer be like, "Yeah, absolutely, I'll vote
Right.
Tasha out"?
Just
It's
because you saved me last week.
It's a stretch.
Right.
saying, "Let's
That's
vote him
true.
out." Before we talk about the tribal council, Rob Earth Softwork says, James, please tell Monica that she looks really stunning.
Aww.
And I want to remind everyone who's watching, there's 29 people watching right now.
Wow.
Yay. Make sure to rate, comment, and subscribe to your Survivor After Show because you guys are amazing. Thank you.
Click that thumbs up for us.
Short and sweet. So the tribal council, a lot was happening. Again, with 13 people, so much can go on.
Yeah.
Cass says, I'm not playing the chaos game this time. People who claim to be calm are in the center of the chaos and causing it. And just like, well, who's that? And he goes, Tasha.
Yeah.
And she's like, hold up.
Nope.
No.
She's not
Chaos
my
is her
right now.
MO. Yeah, that's what she operates in.
Yeah.
And in some respect, I feel like Cass may think that she's playing calm because it's her approach to it. Like when she went to the shelter and was like, Tasha's planting all these seeds. She was calm in her approach, but that doesn't mean it's not causing chaos.
Exactly. Exactly.
So Tasha's saying again, chaos is what she operates on. It's her MO. And this is all the drama that, again, comes to light with these three women, Sierra, Tasha, and Cass. And Sierra makes a point. In some regard, Cass is not creating lies. There's some truth to what Cass is saying, but because of the legend she's living up to from Cagayan, no one wants to really take her at face value, which I think is what is Cass's downfall.
Yeah. Like nobody takes
For
her
her
seriously.
second chance. Exactly.
That's what she gets.
Joe saying it could be anybody, but it's the first vote after the merge, so people are afraid, and it's the easiest vote to go for one of these three right here. And like we said before we went live tonight, Steven made a good point. This is the first time, I think, in a merge situation where the people on the chopping block aren't strong male competitors. It's three females who are really strong with their gameplay.
But they're all creating drama and making it crazy for everybody else. Exactly.
Yeah. I loved Keith's little like.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so great. His cat fight. He's like,
He's so adorable.
he's normally pretty quiet. And he
Yes.
doesn't really get involved. But just seeing him entertained by that
Yeah.
was so cute. I love him. I love him.
And Probe said, to be fair, like in this game, you don't need an alliance. It's just you need voting blocks to get by. And Sierra's like, you want to be 1, 2, 3, or 4, not 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And somebody in this group is in those slots, so let's just start playing. That's all I'm saying.
She went a little crazy
I
right there,
loved
though.
it. I loved it.
But
That's
like,
just me.
I mean, I thought it was good. Like,
got a target on her back.
Right. I thought her speech was fine. Like, yeah, I understand her points, but she's just creating more of a target on her back and like being the only person to vote for Savage. Like, really, I don't know. It's just.
Do we know that? Do we know that she's the only person that voted for Savage?
She is.
At
Which
the
is
end,
so weird.
she held it up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, so.
And I mean, like sitting there, like all these people are, you know,
scary.
seasoned players. They're all super fans, and to sit there and like listen to someone tell you, like, "Hey, play the game."
Yeah, and they're like,
"Calm
"We
down,
are
girl.
playing the
Who are you,
game."
first of all, yeah, you realize your name's on the chopping block. Like,
Right.
what? I don't understand. No.
The vote breakdown was Sierra. So everyone who voted for Sierra was Spencer, Jeremy, Wigglesworth, and Joe. Tasha was Abby, Maria, and Cass. Cass was Tasha, Steven, Kimmy, Savage, Wentworth, and Keith. And then the one lone vote for Savage was Sierra, which again, so random.
I mean, props to her though, because she did go on that huge speech, and then she did what she said she was going to do.
Right.
So, I mean, if you're going to go on that big of a rant and then not do it, then that's kind of like makes you look
but
kind
then
of dumb.
I feel like if
she
you,
looked dumb either way, but
I would have liked it if she went on the rant and then voted for Cass. You
Right.
know, that would have been making your point. Oh, that's you playing the game. That's like you voting for your mom. You know what I mean? But nah.
Mary Judah 444 at the beginning of the after show tonight, she said they have numbers, Keith, Joe, and Spencer, to jump ship, but they were Cass was too busy attacking Tasha for no reason. That Cass should have spent more time working on the men than picking fights. Which if Cass really would have played her cards right and focused on the different relationships to like take advantage of, maybe Cass could have gotten the ball.
Swayed
in
the
her
votes,
Yeah, all
court
she
to
really
get
had to do
Tasha
was just
go.
see what Steven was even talking about.
Right.
I mean, last episode we saw him really wanting to get Joe out, right? So that could have been an easy way to go for it, but
yeah, that's a good point.
Well, with 5 minutes left, let's just really quick recap our Fantasy League team, and then we'll catch up with Monica about what she's been up to since the show.
Perfect.
Susanna, we'll start with you because you lost your first member.
Yay! Finally.
First member.
So of the 4 people remaining left, who is your MVP?
MVP, I mean, I guess challenge-wise, Joe, obviously. You know, I think they're all strong in their own way. I think Keith's going to fly under the radar for as long as he can. Same with Kelly until she gets to the point where, you know, she has to start making plays, which I'm not confident that she will. Sierra, I'm a little worried about her. She's stirring the pot a little too much, but I think she has potential to go to the end, too. So
I agree.
I'm still pretty confident.
Paige, what about you?
I think Jeremy is still for sure my MVP. I don't know. I was more confident in Tasha before tonight,
Yeah.
and now she's kind of sketching me out a little bit. And also Savage, I don't know. I thought he was going to be a lot better than he's been doing with his emotions. So
a little.
I don't know. Yeah. And Steven's always kind of up in there, but I definitely think Jeremy's my MVP.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then for me, it's still toss-up between Spencer and Wentworth. I think the two of them are the strongest.
Oh yeah,
on my
yeah,
team.
for sure.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
but I think my MVP is
What if
still,
Abby Maria just
is still
wins?
Wentworth. I love Kelly Wentworth.
Yeah,
and I
you
think
do.
she's playing a solid game.
Yeah.
So, Ninja
And then when
Wentworth.
Abby wins, we're all going to be like,
What the hell?
Oh my god, please. No.
So good.
Who do you guys think is going to get voted off next week?
That's I usually can kind of tell by editing where the storyline is going, but because it was like someone wants to make a bold move, who's going to be the first one to do it, I really have no idea. I want to see more previews to kind of gauge it, but it could be anyone. Right now, it seems like the obvious choice would be Sierra.
Right.
Because she put a target on her back being so aggressive.
Yeah. Yeah, if I were to guess,
idea.
I'd probably say Sierra, but who knows because it changes every
I'm a little worried about Fishback because it seemed like he was going to try to make some moves. And
That's true. I could
you're
be
in a
talking
place to
about
do
him.
that, man.
It might backfire.
I don't know.
Because the alpha males want to stick together, and Steven's trying to go after them, and then it's like, hey.
Monica, do you know who goes home next week?
I have no idea.
Well, Monica, since we only have a few more minutes left, of course we want to know what's going on with you. First off, how's life been since coming back from Cambodia?
Life's great. It's been hard to stop eating. You know, I can't help it. So I'm just trying to keep up, you know, not eat and drink too much.
For
but
sure.
It's been nice being home. It was really cool to get back and see my family and friends. And it was an emotional ride from the campaign to coming home. So
You put up a really strong I mean, you came into AFTERBUZZ in May, and I remember I was actually at the finale, and I got to see Monica get her slide. I was so excited, so proud to be there. What was it like this time around compared to Survivor Samoa?
it's tough because you go in with so many preconceived notions, whereas when I played the first time, you don't really know anyone at all. You don't know their names. You just see who they are when you're traveling. You see who they are at Ponderosa, but you don't hear them speak. You don't speak to anyone, but we've all watched each other play. We've all been fans of one another at some point, you know? And so it's weird going in because you expect Chaos Cast to be Chaos Cast, you know? You know that Tasha's going to be a challenge beast. You know that Joe's going to be really great at everything and try not to like him too much, you know? So it's really
It might be a little
tough.
intimidating.
You think that it's easy to go in with that and knowing what you're playing with, but it's not because people are changing things every day, you know? You have people trying to change the way they played the first time. Some are going back. You never know where they're going to be and what side of the bed they're going to wake up on or what side of the shelters.
Yeah.
What was it like, because on Survivor Samoa you played with Laura M, which is Sierra's mom. What was it like playing with Sierra, her daughter?
You know, Sierra's cool. She's great. She's really fun to be around camp. But a problem for me was that everyone wanted to group me up with being with Sierra. And that wasn't the case. Sierra and I were not pre-aligned, and people assumed that because I played with her mom and because her mom and I were so close that I naturally would be pre-aligned with Sierra, which wasn't the case. And so it's tough to go in with that preconceived notion.
Yeah.
And that's not even true.
When you say pre-aligned, I mean, it's no secret that there are pre-aligned going into the game. Was there anyone that you were pre-aligned with that did not make the second
T-Bird.
chance? I love Teresa. I know.
I
I would have loved that relationship.
It would have been. I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now on AfterBuzz if T-Bird was out there. To be honest with you,
I could have seen you two be on a powerhouse together. That would have been fun.
well, no one would see it coming, which is the best part about it. So yeah, I'm PG as well, and you know she was out pretty early too. So
Right.
Yeah.
What I know, having been on the show myself, there's a lot of things that go unsaid. There's a lot of things you wish viewers would have known about your journey on Survivor. So what's something you want to say to viewers about your journey on Survivor Second Chance that we didn't see necessarily?
well, it's tough because you really didn't see a lot of me at all, and I don't know what the reason is for that. But I was always thinking. I was always thinking strategy and thinking numbers and who can I trust, who can I not trust, what options do I have, what options do I want to keep open, and you never really get to see that thought process in the 5 episodes that I'm in. And so that kind of sucks, you know, and seeing, you know, who I trusted and who I aligned with and who I shouldn't have trusted, but you never really see that to begin with. And so that's really tough to swallow at this point.
One more question. Well, you've been pretty vocal. I have 2 more questions. One being, you've been pretty vocal about, like, this was your last chance. You don't want to play Survivor again. But Clinton M in the live chat is asking, if you were to play again, would you change anything about your strategy at all?
I would probably keep my mouth shut. Yeah, I'd probably just keep my mouth shut and not talk about the game with anyone and just see where it's going and let people approach me, number one, and to align with me from the day we set foot on the beach. So.
And another question we're getting in the live chat is a lot of super fans want to know, from your original season of Samoa, do you keep in touch with anyone still? And the names that I see are John, Shambo, Russell, or Brett, just to name a few.
You know, I keep in touch with a few of them. I'm good with all of them. We all get along. We don't see each other very much, but I still speak to Russell a lot, which is so funny because we were so against each other. And that's another thing. People try to use that against me out there, saying Monica's close with Russell. It's like, well, but I'm the only one that went against him. So, yeah, no, I talk to Russell. I talk to Dave on occasion. Brett's awesome. You know, we keep up. And Laura a little bit. You know, we just all have busy lives. And Shambo, too. It's so funny because the minute I went back on, Shambo was like, "Are you crazy, Monty? What are you thinking? Why are you back out there?"
Really?
And then when I got back, she's like, I know that, you know, you don't have to tell me anything, but if you need to come stay with me and hang out, you're the one person who stuck up for me when everyone bullied me after that." And so that was cool, you know, to be able to put the game beside you and you know, move on as friends.
Because really,
Absolutely.
it is just a game. At the
Yeah,
end of
and
the day.
Right, it's just a game,
There
yeah.
isn't a lot of people in this world that have experienced that besides the people that were out there.
Exactly.
So no one really understands it.
That's so true.
Okay, so
Wow.
one more question. It's super easy. If Monica could have picked a tribe at the start, which one would have you chosen to been on? That's from S Beamer 77.
You know, I know that Takeo kept going back a million times. I think I would have chosen Takeo. I don't know. I just do. I mean, I was pre-aligned with PG. Another person I was pre-aligned with was Kelly Wentworth. And I think I would have been able to kind of slip into more of the old school mindset with them as well, being directly in the middle.
Yeah.
And work both sides, you know. And then you had people like Shireen and Varner out there, you know, really stirring the pot a lot more. And so I think, I think I would have chosen Takeo.
Yeah. No, I think that's...
Interesting.
I mean, Bayon didn't really.
That's legit, yeah.
We're just saying.
Exactly.
Before we wrap things up, is there anything else you would like to say, Monica?
Just thanks for having me.
Of course.
Thanks for coming.
All right, well, that sums up our recap today for episode number 7. Paige, where can they find you on social media?
You guys can find me on social media at Paige Bonanno.
You can follow me on Twitter at Susannah_Kim and on Instagram at Susannah Kim.
And you, Monica?
I'm Monica Padilla 7 on Instagram and Twitter.
You can find me on Twitter at James Wallington and on Instagram at James.Wallington. And of course, we will be back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time right here on AfterBuzzTV.com. And thank you again, Monica, for coming in.
Thank you.
See you guys next
Have
week.
a good night.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.